the hands that built our future. When people see success, they often admire the results, but never understand the struggle behind it. They notice the smiles, the comfort, and the achievements, but they rarely see the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, and the silent tears hidden in the journey. This is the story of my father, a man who carried the weight of our future on his tired shoulders and never gave up no matter how hard life became. My father was born into a poor family in a small village. Life was never easy for him. He did not have expensive clothes, modern education, or wealthy relatives to support him. From a very young age, he learned that survival depended on hard work. While other children spent their evenings playing in open fields, my father spent his days helping his parents earn enough money for food. He often told us stories about walking long distances, barefoot under the burning sun just to attend school. Sometimes he studied with an empty stomach because there was no food at home, yet he never complained. He believed education and hard work were the only ways to escape poverty. Unfortunately, life became even more difficult when his father became sick. My father was still young, but he had to leave school to support his family. It broke his heart because he loved learning, but responsibilities were heavier than dreams. He started working at small shops carrying heavy bags in markets, cleaning warehouses, and doing whatever work he could find. The money he earned was very little. Some days he worked from morning until late night and still returned home with barely enough to buy bread. But he continued because he had no choice. He once said, "A man can live hungry, but he cannot watch his family suffer." Years later, my father got married and started his own family. That family was us. At the beginning, our condition was extremely poor. We lived in a tiny rented house with broken walls and an old roof that leaked during rain. Sometimes electricity was cut off because we could not pay the bills on time. My mother tried her best to manage the house while my father worked endlessly outside. Every morning before sunrise, my father left home for work. Sometimes he worked at construction sites. Sometimes he worked in shops. Sometimes he took extra night shifts just to earn a little more money. He never cared about his comfort. His only concern was our future. I still remember seeing his tired face every evening. His clothes were covered with dust. His hands were rough from hard labor, and his eyes looked exhausted. But the moment he entered the house and saw us, he smiled. Even if he had only a little food, he always made sure we ate first. There were many nights when my father slept hungry so we could eat properly. As children, we did not fully understand his sacrifices. We only saw a strong man who always protected us. But as we grew older, we realized how much pain he silently carried inside his heart. Relatives and neighbors often looked down on us because we were poor. Some people insulted my father for doing small jobs. Others laughed at our simple clothes and humble lifestyle. Many believed we would never become successful because we came from a poor background. But my father never allowed those words to destroy his spirit. Instead of fighting people with anger, he answered them with patience and hard work. He believed time would prove everything. Whenever we felt sad because of people's behavior, he encouraged us by saying, "Never feel ashamed of poverty. Feel ashamed only if you stop trying." Those words became the foundation of our lives. Even though my father was tired after work, he still spent time teaching us important values. He taught us honesty, respect, kindness, and discipline. He wanted us to become good human beings before becoming successful people. Education was his biggest dream for us. Although he could not continue his own studies, he wanted his children to study well and build a better future. Paying school fees was very difficult for him. Sometimes he borrowed money from friends. Sometimes he worked extra hours without rest. Sometimes my parents sacrificed their own needs so we could buy books and uniforms. There were moments when life became extremely painful. One winter, my father became seriously ill because he continued working in cold weather without proper clothing. The doctor advised him to rest, but resting meant losing income. Even while sick, he continued working because he feared we would suffer if he stayed home. I remember one evening when I saw him quietly sitting outside the house after work. His hands were shaking from exhaustion. For the first time, I noticed tears in his eyes. He quickly wiped them away before anyone could see. At that moment, I realized how much pressure he carried every single day, yet he never gave up. Slowly, after years of struggle, things started changing. My father saved enough money to open a small business. It was not big or luxurious, but it was his own. He worked day and night to make it successful. Some days there were customers, and some days there were none. Still, he remained hopeful. My mother stood beside him through every hardship together. They faced difficulties with courage and patience. They supported each other during the darkest times, and their love for the family became stronger with every challenge. As the years passed, our condition improved little by little. We moved into a better house. We no longer worried about food every day. We could attend school regularly. For the first time, we started dreaming about a brighter future. But success did not change my father's personality. Even after improving financially, he remained humble. He respected poor people because he understood their pain. Whenever he saw someone struggling, he tried to help them. He often said, "Never forget where you came from." Today, when people praise our achievements, I always remember the man behind them, my father. He is not famous, he is not rich like businessmen shown on television. But to me, he is greater than any wealthy person in the world because he built our future with honesty, sweat, and sacrifice. Many children grow up with toys, vacations, and luxury. We grew up watching determination, courage, and unconditional love. That became our greatest treasure. My father taught us that real strength is not about money or power. Real strength is waking up every day, despite pain, and continuing the fight for your family. Real success is sacrificing your own comfort to protect the people you love. Sometimes I wonder how many dreams my father buried inside his heart so our dreams could stay alive. He never bought expensive things for himself. He rarely rested. Most of his life was spent working for others and struggling for us, but he never complained. That is what makes fathers special. They carry burdens silently. They hide their pain behind smiles. They fight battles nobody notices. And even when they are exhausted, they continue moving forward because their family depends on them. Now that I am older, I understand my father more deeply than ever before. I understand why his hands were rough. I understand why he looked tired every night. I understand why he worried constantly. And most importantly, I understand how much he loved us. Love is not always expressed through words. Sometimes love is waking up before sunrise for work. Sometimes love is eating less so your children can eat more. Sometimes love is sacrificing your own dreams to build someone else's future. That was my father's love. Today, whenever I achieve something in life, I know it is because of his sacrifices. Every success we have belongs to him first. He built the road we now walk on. No matter how successful I become, I can never fully repay my father for everything he has done for us. Lifetime would not be enough to return even a fraction of his sacrifices. But I promise one thing. I will always honor his struggles, respect his sacrifices, and make him proud. Because behind every successful child, there is often a father who suffered silently and worked endlessly. And my father is one of those heroes.